So here's our update for today. A lot of stuff has changed since last time, so keep up. So here is what our zucchini plant looks like now. Technically it's two plants, but they're already running out of space. This poor old tomato here, we've kind of given up on. It's not coming back. Here's my mom's blueberry bush that we're still trying to save. Here's a few tomato clippings from the big tall guy over there. We'll get to him. These are some of our many marigold seedlings. We have a lot of them down along the line over here. This is our new eggplant tub. We have 4 little seedlings in here, and they seem to be doing all right after their transplant. I was afraid that it would be too early to transplant them, but they seem to be doing all right. We'll see in the next couple of days. More marigold seedlings, but this is an experiment that I'm running. These were a couple of cuttings. The big one is from the Early Girl tomato, and the little one's from the Champion 2. I'm seeing if I can get them to root by just sitting in water. We'll see. This is the big tall guy, but it looks like he's actually surviving just fine. I left one stem on him, and it seems to be focusing all its energy on that and on a couple of leaves along the stem here. But interestingly enough, in here, see if I can get him, there's a couple of tomato buds in there. So it's trying. It's doing its best. This is probably the biggest of the cuttings that I took off of that guy. It seems to be doing really just fine. It's not even drooping at all anymore, so I'm really excited by him. Back here is our garlic, and I could not be happier. It's looking awesome. I'm really excited for it. Here is our Better Boy. He's doing great. He's got a couple of flower buds coming in on that side and on this side. So we'll see how those do. This is the Champion. He's also doing great. I think he's got one set of buds coming in. More marigolds down here, and this is another cutting from the Early Girl. I'm seeing if I can get this one to root. It's doing all right, but we'll see. This is our bell pepper. I think it's green bell pepper. And it seems to be doing all right, but not growing super fast. We planted it at the same time as the tomatoes, so that should give you some idea of how fast it's not growing. But I think it's doing okay, and it's got a little flower bud in there. Back here are some of our many green onions. Maybe I'll show you some of those in a bit. More marigold seedlings. This is the Early Girl. Very excited by her. She is probably the most vigorous grower that we have. And you can clearly see a couple of flower buds right here. And I think there's some more in there, but I'm not sure. I haven't taken a real good look in there. Down here we have an oregano plant that we picked up from Save Mart a couple of weeks ago. Seems like it's doing all right. Parsley, still doing just fine. We've been picking some off of there, and no damage done. I'm very happy. This is our big carrot tub. Interestingly, the ones in the middle aren't doing super well, but the ones on the outside are doing awesome. Really excited by them. This guy's super bushy, but not quite as bushy as the ones over here. Look at this guy. He is doing amazing. Some more of our green onions. Our sage is actually doing really well in this tub. It was basically dead when we put it in here, and now it's looking really nice. The red onion looks incredible. Very excited. These are a couple of onions that we got out of a single yellow onion that sprouted. Planted them yesterday, I think. So we'll see how they do. marigolds. This is the first of our bean tubs, and I can't say how excited I am by how much they're liking the trellis so far. It's really, really gratifying for me to see them growing up. My babies. The lentils are also doing really great in here. Obviously much smaller, but they're really liking it as well. The second bean tub, these guys I'll explain in a little bit, but this is probably the most vigorous bean that we have, and then of course more lentils. But this guy I'm actually really proud of, because when we first transplanted the beans, there was actually 3 in this little group. Now there's only 2 because one of them died. But the other 2 basically had all of their leaves eaten off by snails. It was like basically just a stem. And look at them now. Like they've made an incredible comeback. I'm really, really proud of them. And they're about to start sending up their tendrils to start wrapping up. So I'm going to be really, really happy when that comes. More lentils, like I said. These are our cucumbers. I think they're doing okay now, but it seems they've been really impeded in their growth. I'm not entirely sure why, but based on the research I've done the last couple of days, it seems like it might be because we've been having really cold and rainy weather, which from what I read, they really like warm weather. So I'm hoping now that it's warming up, they'll start growing better than they have been, and we'll try to keep track of that. More marigold seedlings. They're doing great. Really happy. This was a chamomile plant that my mom tried to take from over by Nuragi Lake or Nagiri Lake. I can't remember what it's called. And it was basically in a desert over there. But we brought it here, and I think it just died immediately. It's got a couple of green bits, so we're hoping it's survived, but hasn't done very well. This is the first tub of the beans that we sprouted from just the bean, not a transplant. And I'm so happy with these. The white beans back here were the fastest sprouting of the beans, so we transplanted them first, and you can see they've got their second set of true leaves already coming in. And this little guy, we didn't even know about him. He just kind of appeared on his own, so he's almost like he was born in here. Really happy. This is actually one of the 2 pinto beans that we have. The other one is right there in the other tub. But they're doing great too. More lentils. I think we have 16 lentil plants in total, which should be enough for like 2 bowls of soup from what I've read. But I really like just seeing them grow. They're a very interesting little plant. A lot of leaves and not a lot of stem, but I think they're pretty. Anyway, this is the second tub of beans. There's black beans back there, and this is another pinto bean, like I said. They've got the really big lettuce, so they've got a long way to grow, but they're doing it. This is our potato tub. We have this big guy here growing, and then there's another smaller guy down in here who's also growing, but they're doing really well. I don't think there's any other ones under the mulch over there. We've looked and haven't found anything. Little mint guy. More potatoes. Nothing growing in here yet, but I think they're supposed to be red potatoes. In here are also red potatoes, but can't really see it very well, but there's 2 little guys sprouting down here, which we just found today. So they're finally coming up. So let's start with our seedlings over here. This is our nursery that I've shown before. All of these are eggplant seedlings that we transplanted yesterday. Again, they're they're probably too young to be transplanted, but they were all, we didn't know how to sprout seeds, I guess, because we had all of these with these core pots, and we put, I don't know, like 8 or 9, maybe 10 seeds in each one. So when they started sprouting, it was like this, where there's just like too many of them in these single pots for them to grow very well. So some of them started dying. And I was afraid that if we left them in there much longer, then they would all end up dying. So I took a chance and I've transplanted them now. It doesn't look like this guy's doing very well, but I think he was like that when we did it. So I don't know. The other ones are looking pretty good. I guess we'll see in the next few days. My mom's little lettuce from her salad blend. These are the ones that have survived. There's a bunch over in the back. We'll get over there in a bit. These are black beans, leftover black beans that sprouted. And all of these seedlings we're hoping to give away, just because we don't have space for them. A few more marigold seedlings. I'll explain him in a second. One more lentil seedling. I have no idea what this is, but it's been here the whole time. This is a funny story. So my mom has been getting some food deliveries from Imperfect Foods, and she thought she was ordering a watermelon, but actually ordered a watermelon radish, and this is the top of that radish. And it was already sprouting when we got it. So we put it in some water, and it's growing, it's loving it. I don't know if we're actually going to plant it or not, but it's cool to see it grow. This is our herb box, which I'm very excited by. I believe these little ones are oregano. Could be wrong, but no, basil, sorry. These are basil. And I think there were a couple more over here, but I don't know what happened to them. And we have a lot of cilantro seedlings coming up. And a few chives, garlic chives. And I've never grown those, so I don't know how well they're gonna do. Over here, we've got a bunch of Roma tomato seedlings. I think tomorrow we're gonna try to do the same thing as we did with the eggplants before these start dying as well, because we already had a couple in here die on us. So, I'm gonna do that. These are bell peppers. I think red bell peppers. We'll have a few of those guys growing. And I think that's everything for over here. I'll go check out the pumpkin stump and the backside of the garden. Oh, well, just kidding. There's leftover cauliflower seedling and 2 of my mom's Swiss chard here. But yeah, let's go take a look at the other areas. Real quick, I forgot to mention that I went out and bought a tub of ladybugs and let them go. And they've taken a good liking to this rose bush, because there were just a million aphids on here. You can see there's some left over on here. All of the buds look like that, but now, like, this section's completely cleaned off. Like half of this one's cleaned off. You can still see a bunch over there. So the ladybugs really like this bush. But there was a huge black wolf spider in here earlier, which was really cool. I wish I got a video of him. So I don't know if he was eating some ladybugs or not, but there's still ladybugs around. Unfortunately, I think many may have died, but there's some still around. Here's the pumpkin stump. I thought these 3 over here were pumpkin seedlings the other day, but then this guy came up, and now I know I was wrong, because he is huge compared to the other ones. There's another one coming up over here, so we actually have at least two, I don't know what those are, pumpkin seedlings coming up. So I'm really excited by this project, but we'll see how it goes. Here's the back side of our garden. This is much shadier than the other side. So we put all of our like cool weather plants back here. My mom's got a fig tree back there and some rosemary. I've got peas over on this side, and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts are back here. Lettuces and leafy greens are over here. So we have a couple of heads of romaine lettuce here. They used to be 4 of them, but 2 of them died. I guess they just kind of rotted. Not sure if they don't really like it back here or not, but these 2 seem to be doing fine. I don't know. Although this guy, now that I look at him, is kind of wilting a bit, so maybe they just don't like it back here. Maybe they need a little more sun. I don't know. Got a spinach over here who's not doing so hot, but we have more on over with the peas that I'll show you in a bit. The kale is loving it over here. I see no problems with them. They're growing great. Here's my mom's salad blend. He is one of the romaine heads that didn't do so well. My mom tried to save him by putting him in water, but I think he's lost. But the salad blend is doing great. All sorts of these guys. A bunch over here as well. This was real sad. It was cauliflower seedlings. And you can see the pellets there. Those are snail and slug pellets, because last night a snail or a slug, not sure which, it only left a trail, came and just ate like all of the seedlings there out of the middle of them. There's only this one guy off in the corner that's left. So I said to heck with that and threw a bunch of pellets everywhere. Hopefully that dissuades them. I haven't had any trouble with the other side of the garden anymore ever since I put those pellets, so I'm really liking them. These are the other cauliflower seedlings. They're doing awesome. Very excited. These are Brussels sprout seedlings, also doing awesome. And this guy, when we first transplanted him, the ones that we put in here just withered and died, unfortunately. So this was actually another rescue from the Brussels sprouts that we replanted in this one. These are the pea tubs. I'm so excited with them. They're doing awesome, and they're really taking a liking to this trellis. They've grabbed on all over the place, which I love. They're so cute. And there's spinach as companions. That's also loving it here. It seems like they really like the temperature and everything, so very happy. Some more peas over here. Look at that guy. Whew. And then here's poor little Timmy, the albino pea plant. He's finally on his way out, but he made it this far. It was so tragic, but he's very cute while he lasted. But sad to see him go. And then of course some more spinach that's doing really well over here. This is an enormous rosemary bush that my mom has, along with an aloe vera that's given off a bunch of babies. It's a baby that found its way out of the barrel there, another baby down under there. And what's really cool is it's actually got some flowers growing, which I never knew that aloe vera gave off flowers, but apparently it does. And there's the main plant, I think, the mother plant. This is a fig tree that my mom's had for many years. It's got, I think, 2 figs, one up here and then one on that branch over there. So not a great harvest this year, but oh well. And down here is a lot of our green onions. I think there were like 20 something in here. We've harvested most of them down, but they're growing back. And a big old mint plant that looks like it's getting chewed up pretty bad, but hopefully those pellets take effect. But yeah, that's our garden.